Response video to Piero. So this ought to take a while, but it ought to be useful, I think, because this is basically what it is, right? You have two individuals that, as Piero would concede, we sort of agree on a lot of end product conclusions, and yet we get to those conclusions in what we contend are very different ways. And I think the means is important here in terms of attempting to migrate people from a current perspective to a better perspective that, yeah, there's a right way to do it. I mean, you could accidentally win a race, you know, sort of, like, I don't know. There's probably some contest you could have, right, where you just sneeze and then you shoot the gun and it hits the center of the target, and it's because you sneezed, you hit the center, and if you really would have aimed, you would have missed. So yeah, you can get there by accident, but you can't be out there teaching accidents. That's stupid. I mean, teaching people to try to sneeze right is really dumb. Something like that anyway. So that's the preface for the video. The second preface would be is that yes, he says things in videos, and they're contradicted by himself in his his live exchanges with me in debate rooms. And the videos happen as if the debate room never happened, which is fairly bizarre. You know, duplicitous. But, you know, we'll save duplicitous for later, probably. You duplicitous cunt. Yeah.
Alright, a couple things. Gary made a response to a video of mine. It was called Beyond Bad and Stupid, Volume 3. That was his response. His name. My video was that Nietzsche...
Yeah, it was about 3 months ago, you know, on YouTube time. But go ahead.
Wasn't a nihilist. But then I talked about Darwin in it, because that's what he was talking about. I think we're talking about Darwinistic related issues, but whatever.
Nihilist is, okay, in what sense, right? Okay, in the purest sense, like where a psychiatrist would say, holy shit, this guy's insane, he doesn't even know he lives on planet Earth because he's destroyed the entire universe except for his own ego. Well, yeah, okay, he's not a nihilist by that most extreme definition. By most definitions, though, he fits into the category in the sense that he's called himself an immoralist, which is, you know, a big giant part of reality, to tell you the truth. As much as you people protest, no, value is a big giant part of reality, and he has blown it up for his own convenience, I would argue. His own convenience of his ego.
Where we could separate them or do them together. The title was more because after reading his title about Nietzsche and nihilism, I wanted to say, he's not a nihilist. And that's what you guys are going to have to get. We're not saying there's no values. The problem is not that there are no values. The problem is there's too many values.
There you go. It's a stupid sentence. All right? And I said it live to you in the conversation. We had the conversation. I said something, well, you're breaking the fundamental rules of logic with that statement, the law of non-contradiction. So that just doesn't seem like it can go anywhere. There's not too many values. There's too many stupid, ignorant, dumb theories of value. Okay, and most of those theories coming out of shitholes like you have something to do with mishy-mush, like we can just make it up, and that's crap. So, again, the argument's been made to you. You can't phrase it like that and not be called on it, because it's a stupid way to phrase it. All right? There are not too many truths regarding value. True statements, factual statements regarding value. No. There are very too few factual statements regarding value, and a lot of crap made up by people for their own agenda. Ugh.
And there's not an absolute way to determine one over the other. Yeah, Gary can go.
Well, yeah, well, whatever. See, again, you make these emphatic statements, and are claiming that you can make an emphatic statement, and everybody else can't make an emphatic statement. That doesn't make sense either. That's called, yes, duplicity.
Come up with simple excuses.
Simple. Yeah, that's right. Oh, what a horror. Something is simple. You mean like dynamite? Like what? Dog shit. Oh, fuck, it's simple. So what? Doesn't change the fact that it smells and you shouldn't eat it for dinner. Shit.
But first of all, life isn't made of just simple
Yes, it is. That's the whole fucking argument, you stupid fucking cunt, is that life is made out of very simple matter. Yes, it's all very simple matter. It's all very simple functions. It's called attraction and repulsion. Okay, yeah, that's what the fucking universe is made out of, and essentially that's what we're made out of. I've given you this simple diagram. Okay, consumption, reproduction, cannibalism, addiction. All right, I've given you those 4 words. I've given you gladiator war, another simple fucking concept. Have you refuted any of that? No. Have you added anything to it? No. Have you made any commentary on it? No. You're just a shit talker, okay? You're saying, it ain't simple, it ain't simple, it ain't simple. Well, that doesn't say anything. You know how fucking simplistic that is as a fucking repudiation, as a reputation, as a rejection, as an explanation? It ain't simple. That ain't fucking goddamn. You know how fucking simplistic that is? I would expect a retard to do better than that. I would expect a fucking 7-year-old, if put on the spot, to do better than that.
Examples, simple examples. And 2.
Oh, excuse me, simple examples. Okay. Never mind. They're not simple examples, you stupid fuck. They're clearly defined as what they are. They're examples of the extreme. The word's been used, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 times. You illustrate something's reality by pointing to the stuff that's not covered by the fog. Okay? It's like if there's an elephant walking by in the fog. Okay? There are some things we can observe. We can still see. Alright? And we can prove them. We can prove the difference in the shading, the color between one part of the fog and this part of the fog. And that this part of the fog seems to be moving. There are things we can prove. Maybe we can't extract all detail, but there are things we can state. And I'm saying those examples prove existence. Alright? They don't prove everything about it, but they can be used to prove existence. And that's what I use them for. I used these examples merely to prove the existence of value, the undeniability of value as a thing in the universe. Clearly that was the purpose. It's been stated 5 or 6 different times, and you keep pretending I didn't say that, or explain that, or prove that.
Even those simple examples are easily complicated.
How? No, they're only complicated if you change them. If somebody says in and of itself, for this moment in time, outside of all extraneous bullshit that you make up, like there's aliens sitting on some other third planet. No, they're simple examples that just clearly illustrate if you can't change the example, if you can't change the thought experiment, there's no other conclusion, okay? And this is just so duplicitous. There's nothing, only a manipulator, only somebody who cheats the simple game can possibly win some other way. There's no other way to escape the rules of logic unless you break logic by adding something that was deliberately, carefully stated to be against the rule.
Okay, now one thing I wanted to say, I was thinking of making it in a separate video, but back on the DE and stuff, and I had mentioned that, some people have kids trying to thinking they're going to make the world a better place.
Oh, fuck, we're going to do this shit again? I mean, fuck you, this is just so fucking stupid. We've been over this. I explained my objection to this statement. You stated as if this is a real part of the real world. And I clearly stated that if this is really people's agenda, I've said it. How many times have I held my hand up and said, write me a paragraph? All right, and if some fucktard wants to write me a paragraph stating that that's his objective, then that person it can be explained to that person that it's totally unrealistic and stupid. But it's clear that most, 90%, 99% of the human race does not have children with this stupid ambition. So fuck you, this is bullshit again.
I did that. So you can fuck yourself if you think people can't think that. Now, it was crazy.
No, see, again, another lie. That people can't think that. That was never the argument. I never said people can't be fucktarded and insane and have kids because they think they're going to fly to the moon and find moon diamonds. Yeah, some fucktard could have a kid thinking their kid's going to go to the moon and find moon diamonds. They could do that. All right? But there'd be assholes. Still. And no one said they couldn't do that. What the argument was, why do people have children? And the answer is something scuzzy on planet Earth right now. The answer is because they're egomaniacal assholes, or because they want somebody to farm their land, or because they have some horniness for their family name, or they're racist, or they're... I mean, you go down the list, and they're all shitty fucking answers.
It was a crazy idea. I did it with a crazy person. Not a stable person, but I've seen people stable.
So you're acknowledging my point anyway, right? That obviously the majority of people are not crazy by that definition, right? Crazy, you're not saying like we were crazy like everybody else. No, you're especially crazy. Yeah, you were especially crazy. So you just proved my goddamn point. So your whole argument is fallacious and nonsensical and idiotic. Bravo.
People do it together and it worked. And it is possible, and even in my case, so it was crazy and it couldn't work, so I was wrong. And you could even say there's some selfish ideas or ego.
I don't even care. Like I said, my point was is this isn't why most people have children. That was my argument, that I want to deal with why most people are having children. That's what I'm arguing against. If somebody has an especially crazy theory, I'm willing to read it. Okay, but the theories I've heard so far for why people have children all fucking suck and have to do with what they want, not about fixing the world or doing anything constructive. Alright, it's all about indulging their bullshit, their ego, their ambitions.
Egomania. And that it was wrong to take that risk. But don't tell me that I didn't think my kids would make the world a better place. I did. I did not feel they would glorify me. And frankly, had I made it more traditional and tried to glorify...
Well, you just stated that maybe there was some ego in there, and now you're contradicting yourself and say, don't tell me that I thought I was getting some off on this too. Just the idea that I was going to be the father of the new race of superhumans that were going to be all good. I mean, come on, let it go.
Glorify myself, maybe I would have had better control of the situation with that old school approach than just creating free spirits.
Yeah, again, free spirits. That's a Nietzsche line. You know, he loves that. You know, he has that will to power, free spirit. You know, that works. Like those two things somehow go together. Free spirit with a will to power. Yeah.
But I think more free spirits in the world would make it a better place, and there's complications. The world isn't very friendly to free spirits.
Again, free spirits. Let's just talk absolute rubbish in defense of rubbish. I mean, fuck. I mean, your premise is stupid. The argument that it isn't some sort of ego trip to be creating your master race. And then on top of it, you have to throw in free spirit. I mean, what the fuck is that? What is the old free fucking spirit? What exactly is a free spirit? We the free spirits. Free of what? Yeah, logic.
If there's other problems, especially, that's not enough. But it is possible to want to make the better place by putting better people into it and thinking, you know what, I can love and teach these people, and they won't be the bastards that are, you know, invade other countries or vote for people to do that.
Well, as you can see, that would be unrealistic. As this, you could breed such people is a not even just breed them, but I mean that somehow you're going to be able to construct the proper maturation program to program people to fall out that way. Because the odds are, you know, even love is a really dangerous thing. Like you love somebody, you're how close to spoiling somebody. Yeah, right? I mean, if you're attempting to build character, loving somebody might not be the ingredients that are necessary to do that. That might end up just indulging their negative, their dark side.
Okay, I have a bunch of comments on Gary's 40-minute video. There's probably a comment in here somewhere, but one thing is Gary complains because I said, hey, I'm 15 seconds in, I'm adding a comment, and then I add comments.
Gary complained because Gary has explicitly told you he doesn't like comment sections anyway, but he really hates them when people spam the fuck out of them, and he really hates them when they do it with one-sentence crap. I mean, if you're going to come back at me with a counter-argument of one fucking sentence, I find that incredibly rude. If I made this video response and gave you one fucking sentence, no real argument, just one sentence, "No, you're wrong, Piro. You're full of shit, Piro. Dog shit doesn't smell like that, Piro." I mean, fuck you. I would know I would be being rude if I did it in somebody else's comment section. I knew I'd be goddamn motherfucking rude. I know I'd be saying, "Oh, this trivial asshole doesn't deserve a real explanation. I'll just type crap on his video. I will put a bunch of my graffiti on his video and say I did you a favor." Well, fuck you and your favor, shithead. I'm basically saying, you know, don't piss down my back and tell me it's raining, cunt. I'm telling you I don't like it. I find it offensive and insulting. Okay? Fuck you. I've told you plainly and simply that's how I feel about it. You, on top of doing it in the first place and showing me what I consider to be disrespect, on top of that, now you're sitting there disrespecting me by not even respecting the fact that I've told you I don't like it. And you still goddamn do it. What the fuck do you want, you shithead? How fucking insulting am I supposed to allow you to be before I just say, well, fuck you, cunt? Chew on this cinder block.
Gary, you read my comment that you have not read before. Stop in the middle of it and then interject your stuff. Now, I know sometimes you've watched the videos before, but...
Yeah, well, there's a huge difference. Again, it's like making this video, okay? Yeah, I'm interjecting. I'm doing all this stuff, but I'm doing it with a lot more substance in the first place, and I'm doing it with this accountability thing in place. I'm not doing it as graffiti on a video, and where nobody's even going to be paying any attention, and I can get away with a lot of crap, okay? No, I'm doing it with my frickin' reputation and character on the line. I'm going to show myself to be a fool, perhaps, in doing this. So this is showing some balls where this comment trash is just cheap shottery. Sorry, no sale. It's bullshit. Comments are bullshit to start with. They're very, very difficult to do well. And you're just saying you have some right to just slop that crap on a video. And I'm saying I don't think you have such a right to slop your Piro, you know, your spray paint on my fucking video.
Sometimes you haven't, and you just are interjecting stuff. So shut up about interjecting. Yeah, it's better to get ideas off your mind than to save them and not be listening the second two-thirds of the video because you're trying
to... Oh, right, so you can type and listen at the same time. Whatever. I think it would be even better if you just type your notes. You know, you had this whole video thing with the notes and playing and blah, 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 so you already understood the concept of taking notes. So, yeah, why don't you just take notes then?
Remember what you wanted to say. It's better just to get that out there and reprocess the new information. So,
yeah, well, you could do this. You could play the fucking video. You know. Yeah, simple. You watch the video, say, oh man, there's a lot of shit in here I want to comment on, so yeah, I'll play this video and comment on it. It's another alternative.
You know, I used to leave long, more complicated comments, and at times I'd even wait to the end. None of that. You never liked any of that. You don't like it if you're not being agreed with. So stop giving me fucking advice when all you really want is to be agreed with. Don't tell me how best to disagree.
Well, it's just a crock of shit. So I can't say this and that about your motives in having children, but you can tell me what I'm blah, 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 blah. Now, bullshit. I want a good argument, okay? I don't think it's practical to have it in comments. I don't even think it's a useless medium, because what if you actually have a good argument? Well, there it is in the comments section, which no one is going to read. So I just don't see any utility in it, okay? I mean, comments are basically for just spitting and applauding. It's just kind of a shitty medium. Now, you want to use it, fine, go ahead and use it, but use it on somebody else's video, because as I see it, the spit is spray paint, okay? If you spit invisible, I wouldn't care so fucking much, okay? But you don't spit invisible. You spit all over the fucking place.
Agree with you. You have no idea how best to do that, because you don't believe in people should disagree with you.
No, fuck you. Again, I sit there and encourage people to play my video and show me the fool. Do they do it? No. So what do you want me to do? I want the challenge. I want somebody to give me a sentence I somehow can't logically deconstruct and point out that it's complete crap. Okay? Give me one. Give me a sentence I can't turn into the shit that it is. I mean, look, To Be Serious has commented on your video. So, I mean, explain. Just amazing crap. Like, somebody has to explain. Well, somebody else explain it to him because he might call me a nasty word. Well, no, you're not going to find anybody that can explain it because there's no way to explain it. It's just nonsense to say, well, you can't sit there and say suffering is bad. You can't put it in the category bad. Yeah, I can. Quite logically.
But anyway, comments. Okay, you were talking a lot about Nietzsche and nihilism, and you complained that I didn't say, well, why he wasn't nihilist. He wasn't nihilist because he endorsed people having values, making values. There was no life.
Yeah, again, making values. There's just no point. There's just no point in making them up. All right? And again, and says, I don't want to get too deep or strangled by this Nietzscheism, but again, it's like the idea the values have already been built into us. They're already sort of identified, okay? There's hunger, horny, and the ego ambition thing. There isn't much else to us that's doing any kind of value thing, all right? Those are the motivating desires. Those are the compulsions. Compulsion, that's kind of related to a value word because you're motivated to do. To do is a kind of a value word, like it needs to be done. To do implies needs to be done. So the mechanism of the beast is really quite simple. And what did he do? He converted that into the means. So instead of dealing with those ends, okay, which is the gratification of the sentient organism, instead of dealing with that as the end, and it really doesn't matter whether you're, drinking the finest wine in the world or Gatorade, if it makes you happy, okay? If you derive happiness from it, then what's the hell's the difference? The comfort of the man drinking the great Gatorade or the fancy wine. He's the elitist fucktard complaining about the elitist. He's the racist complaining about racism. I mean, it's just littered in everything he says. He loves this stupid system of somehow the victorious gladiator is worth the 20 ruined lives he left behind. I mean, his math is insane, okay, because he's lost all sense of the value goals because he just talked about the idea of the fight. He's just glorifying the means, the power. Yes, power is a means to the end. Power is not the end. So it's, again, how can you even talk about values when all he's talking about is means?
Not to be nihilist was anti-life, and if there's one thing he was pro-life, try to live.
That's a value, right? So he says all these other values of just kind of obvious values, like, oh, gee, it would be horrible to be stabbed in the head. Those values are ridiculous, and somehow living and surviving is the value. So again, we're back to, if it isn't nihilism, then it doesn't really matter because it's basically the dogma of the DNA. Let's just, we reject God, we glorify a DNA molecule. So it's that kind of nihilism. It's Darwinianism, even though he critiqued Darwinianists, right? So this is the joke. But what did he critique them for? Because they miscalculated who is the real victor. But he didn't really understand the process of evolution anyway.
And he would like a guy like Napoleon, so yeah, we could call him an asshole, because Napoleon went for it. And that's basically all he has going for him, and that's good enough. It's not good enough for me, it was good enough for Nietzsche. So I don't have to endorse Nietzsche. Yeah, there's indefensible things. It doesn't matter. You come through these ideas that create a reason for you to have an answer, and that's what's important. And I think those are the...
Yeah, well, whatever. The bottom line here is, what is the philosopher's job? The philosopher's job is not to make shit up. The philosopher's job is to analyze what exists and describe it accurately. That's what we're after. We're after an accurate description of reality. If you're doing something else as a philosopher, I have no fucking interest in your bullshit. okay? Unless you're describing a reality, then go to hell, or you're attempting to describe reality. All right? If you're just going to give me your stupid opinion about what value is because you made some crap up in your head, okay, because in the end you glorified and just did that, just glorified a DNA molecule. You just said, DNA was here first, DNA's right. Okay, there. The end of the philosophical discussion. If that's the depth of your philosophy, the depth of your statement of truth about what the DNA molecule is, if that's as deep as you're going to go, then fuck you. Yeah, what use is that? That's not a truth. That's a lie. It's almost as much of a lie as you anthropomorphizing plants and bacteria into feeling, sentient thinking, I think I will go get a glass of water. No, not happening. Sorry, fail.
Best philosophers, where it's the ideas you have while reading it that you're supposed to pay attention to, not trying to figure out whether you endorse or not this other person. But then you bring it to the next level where you're just going to take a bunch of people that have said crazy things about Nietzsche over the years and you're just going to buy it lock, stock, and barrel. You're not...
I don't even think that's true. I don't even think I've read that much of them either. Okay? I mean, it's all kind of cracker crap. I mean, how could you can't eat, there's no even point. Nietzsche, again, I'll use my example, but it's like, he's like a snake pilskinist. I'll just go find something stupid to critique. So he just goes and he just waits for the stupid animals to come out of Noah's Ark, and he just complains that that one's too short, and that one's too tall, and that one's hands are too big, and that one's feet are crooked. He complains about everything with the presumption that somehow in validating those complaints that are obvious and anybody could do, that somehow his alternative, that is a ghost that's not made of anything, that's not made of any direct statements, will somehow win. Because it didn't get critiqued. But it's paper mache. It's a piece of absolute crap. If he actually described his ghost, it would be so fucking easy to double critique it or critique it cubed. Because it's a bigger piece of shit than the shit he's fucking critiquing.
I'm not going to let it be explained to you what he means. You know, you're going to be confused because he's going to call Plato noble and he's going to say Christianity is this and overcoming, but on the other hand it sucks and because this. And you're not going to follow it or let anybody help you follow it. But it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, because it's totally useless as a description of reality. Because it's completely attempts to disconnect from reality. It disconnects from what we know about reality. All right? It's a total rejection of accepting any science that starts to point to reality. I remember the one little part where Nietzsche was kind of horny for the idea that they figured out that atoms were made out of energy, you know, and he just found that so fascinating. Like, oh, we finally got rid of this horrid, awful, endpoint, you know, where you could actually describe the atom as the atom. The atom was the atom. But how did it change anything? How exactly does atoms made out of energy change the periodic table? How does it change the properties of a diamond or carbon? Oh, that's right, it doesn't change them one single fucking goddamn bit. It doesn't change the reality of the elements we've been living with for 10,000 years as observers of the world. So, fuck, what the hell does it make a difference? No, it makes no difference at all.
It doesn't really matter, and yet, if you're going to make a point of it, Nietzsche was not a nihilist. The issue is that your one values are not just perfect. And how do you decide between them? And you come up with all kinds of examples that I think I'll save to get into because there's like 40 fucking comments on 40 minutes worth of videos. There's 30. Yeah,
well, compared to other people's I mean, I do keep my comment section reduced because, yeah, I just beat the shit out of commenters. But whatever. I don't think there's anything, well, whatever. Do what you want to do. Again, I'm saying that there's this, we all have to argue from premises, all right? And what I'm saying is that premises can be established. You can make statements, okay, and you can demonstrate them logically. You can prove them, like you could prove the non-existence of God. You really can. You can first prove that it's a theory people basically just make up, okay, because there's all kinds of variants on this story. So obviously the story has a bullshit element to it, because obviously all these stories are all claiming the same kind of non-evidence and making the same kind of bold claims about their visitations and their communication, and God said to them and did this and did that. So they're obvious, when people come at you with the same book, okay, the same credibility of the book, and the books are all in contradiction, well, there's a problem, okay? So by Aristotle logic, we can prove there's a problem here. The conflict needs to be resolved. And the resolution's probably going to be that they're all bullshit, not that one of them isn't bullshit. And then you can go through the whole logic of a God who's supposed to be above feelings, and then you're supposed to figure out why he did what he did. Like he's supposed to have some sort of agenda. Well, what would that agenda be? What desire was that agenda based on? What mechanism of ego manifestation is it a byproduct of? What exactly do humans do? What exactly is their function? It's not like he made us part of an engine that was doing something. He didn't make us the wings on a plane. No, he just farted us into a nothing to do nothing. That's fairly stupid. So, you could point out that God would have to have no brain and be an imbecile to create this badly. Well, anyway, I didn't want to get into that argument. The point is that this is how logic works. You have to, I've made it, as clear can be. I've cut this down to like 15 minutes on the efilist videos, just going through the facts of this is what we are biologically, this is what we are psychologically, that you're just playing games with yourself, okay, with lies and nonsense to aggrandize it any further. You're just the byproduct of replicating chemistry. It's a bizarre kind of chemistry, and it's going to create these bizarre entities who think they're accomplishing something when they're doing nothing else but chasing an artificial piece of cake that was put in front of them so they would keep playing a stupid game.
3 comments I've made. Notes I've made. On my own site. Pause, make a note. So you don't have to see it till I'm done. This is very useful to you because you're getting agreed with. Okay.
Okay, well, if you get a pause, I'll take advantage of it. I guess it's my turn. Who do you think's going to win the World Series? Oh yeah, no one rational should care.
I think a lot of you, maybe including To Be Serious, are missing the point about what Nietzsche's saying when he's arguing with Darwin. He's saying there's no will to survive. That we just made that up. Sounds good, but nobody's thinking, I'm going to survive. I want to survive. That's not people throwing themselves out of airplanes. It's not the will to survive.
Exactly, but it's not the will to power either. Okay? We obviously, what it is, it's a will for comfort. Okay? We have a will to be comfortable. To if we have something, that agenda making, we want to resolve the thing demanding that we resolve the need to agenda make. Oh, damn it. Computer. The other one farted out on me. Anyway. I'm sitting here watching it and it farts out on me. Damn. Sort of irritating. It's on the video card. Damn. Alright, anyway. Where was I? Oh, that is nice and quiet. Wow. Quieter. It's just distracting. I hate issues. I might have to resolve them with something. Where were we? It doesn't matter. Look, who wants to get into the depths of this Darwin argument? I just used it as a point of, I used it as one example that his critiques are just mush. Okay? They're just sloppy little reckless critiques. Okay? It's like, they're just a bunch of cliches. I could just make some half-truth cliche. I could just say, the half-truth is as valuable to civilization as half a horse. you know, or some kind of crap like that. I mean, I could just keep saying crap like that and say, wow, there's brilliant. No, it's not brilliant. It's just cliche mush. And he took on Darwin with cliche mush, and he did it also in the context that, you know, that you're not going to get to here, for I'm quite certain, about the herd mentality, okay, and you know, that was part of that critique, and this idea of the you know, the masses aren't the exceptional, and of course they're not, but they will be in the future, and the exceptional will be reduced to being the masses again. So again, this is just such bullshit. It's like your 19-inch Telecolor TV from, you know, 1975 is kind of a piece of crap by today's standards, right? Yeah, well, it was exceptional back then, but it ain't no more. Maybe that's the mechanism we should be paying attention to. The fact that the exceptional turn into the mundane.
And he calls it the will to power, but basically it could be generalized. It's the will to do that shit and feel empowered and have your joys and live life to the fullest.
Yeah, whatever. That's not the will. So again, that's just the crap. Again, there's no point. Like I said, I don't know how I can better illustrate it. I can't say it any clearer. Okay, we see what we're really shooting at. We know what we're really shooting at. We know we're hungry, we're horny, and we have an ego. We know this. Okay, we know we're not fucking shooting at shooting. We know we're shooting at targets, and they have a definable reality, and he just wants to get away from that because guess what? It looks kind of silly and trivial. It looks like just any other animal chasing their personal bullshit, and you can't aggrandize that. You can't ennoble that. You can't turn that into his class theory on how it's necessary to have the exploitables because, yes, and once you exploit them enough, then they'll grow into a super cockroach or some other bullshit theory.
That happens to result in survival in some situations, but we can see in others it doesn't because it's just like lust. The will to have lust is not really the will to reproduce. There's a difference.
The will to have lust. So you didn't even say that very well. Well, let's just say the will that lust is a manifestation of. Lust is a manifestation of a kind of will. Maybe that'll work. But whatever, you know, it's still identifiable. We don't need to call it power. We're not, like I said, you're not after the power to get it. You're after the getting.
There. So to say there's a will to survive, we all take it for granted. They were already taking it for granted back then, and he's pointing out, no, it's a will to...
Yeah, exactly. And so dissecting. So here you are, you're just simply dissecting a simple social presumption, a cultural presumption, and you're dissecting and explaining how, look, they sort of said it wrong, because no, people don't really will to survive, they will to thrive. Oh, okay, now I get it. Yeah, that's what it's called. It's called clarification and recognizing that this is not the right way to say it, it's the wrong way to say it. So let's try to say it the right way.
A thrive that results in survival.
Well, there you go. There's the same word. Yeah, well, whether it results in survival is again another catch, because that's not even the game either. Yeah, as pointed out, as soon as you give me a condom, I'm no longer going to survive genetically, okay? So there's absolutely no real connection between the two, and the only connection exists based on this biological level. So I have absolutely no will interest at all in any even indirect way with any kind of genetic molecule going into the future crap. So that's how clear the distinction is that, you know, from even the biological sense, the connection is distant enough that it can be broken, it can be eviscerated quite easily.
Relationship to survival. But animals, and including humans, aren't going around thinking, I want to survive. No. They're thinking, I want more money, I want a power, I want a good job. They're thinking of...
No, they're thinking, I don't want to be poor. I don't want to have cancer. I don't want to die. I don't want to... No, it's the don't want list that's the big list. That's the one pushing them.
prospering. And that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, well, again, it's all, you know, well, I'm just saying, I think I could fairly argue, again, that people are not being motivated positively, they're motivated negatively. They're motivated attempting to escape an encumbrance, a burden, a deprivation, a lack of having something they think, you know, other people have. It's their perception that they lack what somebody else has. It's this negative psychology that runs the keep up with the Joneses mentality.
All right. And I think also the will to power is misunderstood, much like people misunderstand Darwin's the fittest. People think of physically fit. It's obviously more like the way a round peg fits into a round hole. If you fit the peg well enough of the environment, then you survive. But even then, it's a little bit philosophically confusing to people, it would seem, because it doesn't mean you will survive. You could be physically fit and fit around and be the round peg for the...
Well, again, I don't think that was Darwin's term anyway, so, you know, that might negate that whole argument anyway. So again, we're going to have a semantic problem with the word fitness. But again, the concept has nothing to do with, you know, any kind of higher standard than being compatible with your environment. That's the only standard being measured here, is getting along with the environmental circumstances. So you're being molded by the environment, and whoever molds best to the environment wins in the long term. Again, it's not a short-term race, it's a long-term race. So even the thing that's not so obviously in the short term, that seems weak and powerless, well, it might be it has the staying power to endure the meteor, and it can endure the storms and the ice ages and all the other crap that's going to happen. So it could look like it's a meager player, when in fact it's the one that's going to last over the long term.
The round hole, and oop, lightning bolt, you didn't make it. Oop, asteroid, you have a great style of living there, too bad the environment changed overnight. The will to power is similar. It's not power domination, power this, power that. It's just like these word translation options that Gary's found out about, you know, intelligence and mind and spirit. Well, power doesn't have as many synonymous translations, but it's still a word that has a concept with a lot of spectrum to what exactly it means. And he's talking, I believe, about, you know, a feeling of being empowered. You know, that you could do what...
Yeah, again, and that's just we know where the truth is, we know what the target is, and again, so that's just throwing fog. That's saying, let's look at the means and not the end. Because if we look at the end, we're going to know it's stupid. So yeah, let's keep our eye off what we're doing and just talk about the doing. I mean, it's so obvious what he's doing. So that's the nihilism in him. He's recognized the targets are idiotic, okay, that there is no good truth here, and he's just basically said, okay, well, where do we go from there? Well, let's just go one step back. Let's go one step dumber. Let's ignore the fact that we see the targets, and let's just talk about shooting arrows.
You want to do and try things out, you want to try and this sort of thing. And that, unfortunately, is related to a will to dominate others, which is really just the will to dominate one's own drives through dominating others. And this is all seems to be more or less evident.
Yeah, well, again, but it's all more or less completely what he endorses. He endorses hierarchies, he endorses the classism, he endorses all the inequities, he endorses the unfairness, he endorses every pernicious, malicious, nasty bit of society, and aggrandizes it again because somehow it produces this exception, okay, to the rule that's somehow worth it. That somehow the great literate slave owner who had plenty of time to read books is somehow worth the labor of the slaves. No, sorry, fail. Preposterous fail.
Now, we talked about the negative experience of what I would call the idealized mass.
I mean, let's understand. I mean, goddamn, Nietzsche was a fucking racist all over the place. Let's just concede what this guy is. He's an idiot. I mean, sorry. I mean, he thinks people are by their nature a thing. Like if you were born to thieves, you were a thief. I mean, he has that kind of stupid.
Because I agree with you, actually, if we step back, that, okay, masochism, if we really want to understand it, there's a constant misery there. You're trying to feel pain and not misery, being pain, being able to endure the pain, you know, makes the misery seem more this or that or whatever. I don't want to talk about what that exactly is, but I agree there's a psychological explanation of that. So we could use an idealized one, and the point is, you did go with this idealized thing, and when you do that, certain kinds of pleasure can be pain for this person, pain can be pleasure for this person. And the point is, you keep saying, oh, there's this objective thing of there'll be suffering and there's still a way. It's not like they're happy all the time. Doesn't make life happy all the time. That's not the point. The point is that one thing for one person can be a joy and for another not a joy. The cat is screwed.
That's just a pile of shit anyway, okay? That, you know, this whole it can be a joy for one, can't be a joy. No. The fact that they say some shit, their propaganda, okay? The fact that they'll come up with some stupid racist theory. I don't have any obligation to respect their racist theory. I don't have any obligation because they say it, because they think so. No, they think so for propaganda purposes. It's like a Christian being pro-life or crying about a fetus or some other kind of crap. I don't have to respect that judgment whatsoever. It's stupid judgment. So if somebody tells me, I think the pain was worth it, well, so what? You're an idiot. You're a moron. You're a fucknut. Because if I did the same exact thing to your child, you'd say, don't do that to my child. There's no fucking way that's going to make any sense. There's no way that's going to be worth it. So don't tell me, okay, that I have to respect the individual's declaration of the worth of it. No, I can make a statement about the worth of it by merely migrating the circumstance to somebody I care about. Now, I take their circumstance, I put it in somebody I care about, and it's quite obvious to me that would be awful. I wouldn't do that to somebody. No fucking chance. Okay? It would be stupid. And I don't have to have any personal involvement. So then we could take it one step further and just make it a laboratory experiment on rats. Nobody would make all these idiotic claims about the purpose of the experiment and how, well, it was worth it for you to electrocute the rats because they had an exceptionally good bit of cheese. You know, because they saw a really great TV show. What? Fuck you. You'd say, don't do that. It's stupid.
With this cat. Get out of there. Get out of there, cat. Great. You ruined it.
He's got to fix his green screen. So anyway, but it is, you know, hey, good job, quite adequate. You know, maybe he'll paint a wall green next. Yeah, a wall green. Oh, that's funny.
Anyway, excuse me. So, this idealized masochist, the point shows, is just like any other thing. It's like, is it better to give 6 million Jews a piece of cake or to put them in a concentration camp? That's obvious. Well, it seems obvious there, but let's say there's a third option of giving them all...
Yeah, there you go. So just break the thought experiment. It clearly illustrates the fact that we know there's value because there's no rational... Again, you give people 2 buttons. You say, is there any rational way you can hit buttons B? And there's no rational way you can do it. There's no bit of logic that could ever justify it. You'd have to just say, I'm going to be insane, or, you know, randomness says so. It'd have to be some just preposterously stupid thing. There's no way, logically, you couldn't recognize the distinction between the 2 states. One state is decidedly unfavorable compared to the other state. Value now exists. We know it exists. We know it fucking exists. Now let's move on. Now that we've declared it to be a reality, let's move on to the conversation about what value really is. Because there, I've proven its existence. I've proven there's something in the fog. All right? Big. Something big is moving through the fog. All right? And it's provable. Now we can argue about what exactly it is. Have you tried to send an email, but I don't know what that means.
A nice home and a place to live. And some of the Jews are diabetic. Well, I mean, then the cake is still better than the concentration camp, but you can't really say it's subjectively good. It's good in comparison. That's why you're always using comparisons, Gary, and I've been trying to tell you that's what relativism really is. That's what it is in science. I think that's what it ought to be in philosophy, is the fact that you notice that, oh wow, to make any of these clear statements I've ever made that were anything close to clear, I had to make a comparison. Oh, it's good relative. Comparison relating relative to another.
Well, the very nature of value is relative, so there's no way to avoid it. There's no way to create value in any other. It's a linear thing. All linear things have relative components. So yes, as soon as you prove the existence of a relative component of distinction, then you've proven linearity, and once you've proven linearity, you've proven the existence of the scale. So again, that's all. That's not a disprove of my point. It completely validates my point that the reality itself is linear. The ness. I know this is not, to say ness is just stupid. Okay, it sounds stupid. Ness, but this is a really important concept. The ness of something. Okay, the fact that it fits into a category through having by being ness, like having two-ness, or three-ness, or four-ness, or five-ness, humanness, animalness, sentientness. These are all the nesses that put you in categories. And that's the thing that validates the category almost, is the fact that the nessness of that exists. What I'm showing you is that value-ness exists by demonstrating it as a linear scale.
Thing, or it's bad relative to another thing. What if it's giving everybody a cake and none of them are diabetic, keeping them in concentration camp, or having them go sleep in the rain, free but sleeping in the rain?
Well, again, this isn't the point of the thought experiment. You want to go through now detailing every single solitary difference and saying whether there's a true bad. I'm saying to you that I'm going to argue that all conditions of dissatisfaction are bad. So anything less than perfect, then you're out of luck, okay? You're playing a stupid game. You don't want to admit it's a stupid game? Fine, but it's a stupid game. All right? You're doing things for negative reasons, not positive reasons. You're not elevating yourself to some positive place, just like again, I can illustrate it with the thought experiment. Again. So it's not even a thought experiment in the sense that you can do it with very real components. How many minutes of your life have you contemplated Mars, Saturn, Pluto, and lamented sadly as if there were suffering on the planet? As if you, with the same intensity you would feel as if there were Holocaust victims on those planets. The absence of their funness. The absence of Disney World on Venus, where Venetians with 7 heads and 19 tentacles pretended they were accomplishing something, and did it joyfully and gleefully. How often have you lamented the absence of the 17-headed Venetians eating a chocolate bar and going, oh, yummy, 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 this is worth cancer? Fuck you. Yeah, that's right. That's my point. No, you haven't done that.
Is sleeping in the rain absolute good suddenly? Because it's absolutely better than being in a concentration camp. But that's where the word absolute becomes a bit of a stupid word.
Well, again, now you're changing the subject, right? Again, the thought experiment was used for one purpose, merely to point out, prove the existence of value. Now you want to do the other part of the conversation, which is, let's figure out whether there's any such thing as a real positive value, or whether it really is just getting yourself out of the quicksand and there is no positive territory. So that's a different argument. Okay, I'm going to argue that anything that has any kind of psychological ambition involved in it, desire, is a corrupt definition. That's not real value, that's synthetic value. It's a projection of value. It's merely a delusion, a notion. It isn't a fact of value.
It's not absolute when it's good relative. That's the opposite meaning of absolute. And you would like to use these extreme examples, which are comparisons, and just reiterate the need for relating things with relativism.
Yeah, what I'm going to say is you're in relative states of torment, is what it comes down to, okay? Of burden, of anxiety, of worry, of stress. And it's all we're talking about is relieving stress. And what relieves more stress than something else? What condition is more stress relieving than some other condition? And that's the relative comparison. One is better than the other, but being better than bad does not make you good.
And and then once you think you've established that, then you go into, and here's all the things we have to do. And if I get 51% of the people, I'm allowed to do the right thing because I can figure out the right thing because I figured it out. No.
Whatever that means. Yeah, the right thing, 55%, whatever. The point is that on most of these subjects, right, we're talking about just a tiny bit of difference in perception. And people are like, oh yeah, I get that. Okay, yeah, paying poor people to have kids is dumb. Oh yeah, maybe that sounds right.
Just complaining about the short comments, it's a bitchy of you. I mean, you interrupt. It's your whole style, so whatever.
Yeah, it's not whatever, Piero. It's sort of an important distinction, okay? You're commanding my attention in the first place. You're almost requiring me now to get into a comment discussion, which I've told you I really don't want to do. Again, it really has to do with just disrespecting the fact that I don't go on your videos and graffiti on them. I'm just asking you don't graffiti on mine. Cunt.
No, you can, and then after that you're like, well, how can you say there's no values? I'm not saying that. I'm saying Nietzsche doesn't say that. I certainly don't say that. Nobody that you take to be...
Well, I think it's just idiotic to say. He calls himself an immoralist. All right? Now, yeah, maybe we can do some translation work on that word and his notion of what that entails. But I'm sorry. It's pretty hard to say immoralist and value go together. They don't. Immoralist sort of basically means there's nothing you can tell me about anything that ever happens that I'm going to get worried about.
Bending Nietzsche, or whatever, just by talking about ideas that he sparks by the subjects he brings up, which he rarely makes a clear conclusion on. He brings up the subjects so we could discuss them.
Yeah, well, again, he doesn't even do... I think it's even simpler than that. I think you can go through life just pointing out the flaws and everything else and never present an alternative. And you can make yourself look very smart, but you're really not. Because it's really easy to complain about everybody else's clothes. It's really hard to wear something better, to do better.
And then you go, well, Piero, what you said doesn't make sense. That doesn't prove there's no values. No, but we're not saying there's no values. We're saying every sentient creature has a matrix of values that is created.
Again, this matrix of values, their delusions are not values in the sense that they are not a valuable thing in the world. The argument is there value in the world is the argument, not whether there's idiotic theories of value in people's heads. That's not the argument. Okay, what Nietzsche's saying is there's no value truth. Okay, there's no actual real thing to be described. There's no real thing to be revealed or found in the world, in the universe. And what I'm saying is no, just like two-ness and four-ness and six-ness and eight-ness, okay, value is out there in the world and we just need to discover it. We just need to sit there and turn the lights on, cut through the fog, and see what's there.
It's around it, and it is the arbiter of them. They do exist. And you want there to be just one good set.
Oh, again, this good set. I mean, again, you're talking like you could just, whatever, any suitcase will do, or any pair of pants will do. I mean, no. It's a thing. You can't sit there and play this game that value has more than one definition. Again, that just breaks, going all the way back to the ancient philosophers. You're just breaking the fucking rule. This is a rule they figured out right away. You can't have contradiction. You can't have two varieties of the truth. There's the truth, and then there's the fake, and the false, and the wrong. There's the right, and there's the wrong answer. Fuck you.
we don't know if there's any good sets, but there's definitely more than one, because there's one per sentient creature.
Yeah, whatever. That's just nonsense. Again, you can't just make it up. Perception does not make it real. So you're just not getting it, okay? The claim isn't that people make up bullshit. That's not the claim I'm making. Oh, yeah, I know, people don't make up bullshit. No, I'm not saying that. I'm clearly saying that. What I'm saying is there's one fucking reality, and you either describe it accurately or you describe it inaccurately. I'm saying that's what we're stuck with. So there is one accurate description of value. There's not 500 or 1,000,000 or 7 billion accurate descriptions of what you're doing here and how you function and what the net product of your existence is. No, there's one accurate description. Period.
I already went over the three-state example where stop using your doubles. Put in two. You're going to always find the middle case might not be as good as you thought, even if it was the good case. And if that doesn't work, then try to take your obviously good and obviously bad case, get a middle case. It'll probably be better than the obviously bad, but it's not objectively good. And this is the clue you need to figure out what we're trying to tell you about value systems.
Yeah, fuck you. I don't need you to tell me something. I've already demonstrated the proof, okay? I've already demonstrated that you can't produce a rational argument explaining how it would ever be right to choose to press the 6 million Jews in the Holocaust, in the concentration camp button instead of the 6 million Jews eating ice cream button. There's no rational argument. You can't make a rational argument or a logical argument. I've proven the existence of value in the real world. It does exist. There is a distinction, and sentience is what creates it. Sentient beings in welfare states is what matters here, and that's the nature of value. So you want to play in the game that I've already proven is the game? That's the game. It's proven, okay? You can keep playing whatever you're playing, Sky Pokemon or something, or 15-layer, Juju Boo-Boo, but that isn't the real game. The real game is on the field I just defined. Alright? Sentient creatures are in states of being. They have a welfare state. They're comfortable or uncomfortable. That's the origin of value. I mean, it really doesn't matter what your ambitions are. Your ambitions are bullshit. Okay? Whether you want to win the gold medal in skeet shooting or sky skiing or whatever the fucking thing, it doesn't matter. It's all the same ambition. It doesn't matter whether it's swimming or skiing or this or that. It doesn't matter whether you're getting off on the Sopranos or Teletubbies. None of this shit matters. It's the getting off part that matters. Period. It doesn't matter how you do it. The end is the satisfaction in the end. And if you can find some really efficient way to be satisfied, well, that's the way you go. Duh.
I mean, the idea is...
It's kind of ironic, the crickets in the background, but they're toads, actually. Frogs.
You create your own value, you say you don't support that, but then you go on and on about sentient people created, and you think you can objectively...
Sentient people created. I don't mean sentient thinking people created. I'm saying a sentient organism. I didn't say sentient people. I said sentience creates value by experiencing. There. When you experience, you create a value. Okay? Value is created by your experience. You're either in a good state, a neutral state, a less bad state, or a more bad state. So really, it's all about red numbers in the end anyway, and just minimizing red numbers. So clearly, you're either in a bad state or a worse state, okay? So those are your two choices. And the obvious point I'm making is that for all sentience, it's better to have them in less bad states.
Figure it out. Well, that's the difference. We agree. Sentient creatures create this value system. They can't...
No, value system. Again, no, I'm sorry. We're not talking about what's in the fucking lion's head. We're talking about whether the lion's having a good time. We're talking about whether he's comfortable, just, look at his paws in the grass, just, bang the bitch and he's comfortable. or whether he's in the middle of some horrific fight with a hyena, and the hyena just ate his ear, and, you know, life is kind of sucky. That's what we're talking about. That's creating value. Being in one of those two states, that's creating value. He's either in a good state or a bad state. We're not talking about what's in his fucking goddamn idiotic head. We don't talk about his notions of purpose and accomplishment and all that bullshit. We're talking about his actual state of being. Is he comfortable or is he uncomfortable? That is what's creating the value. The feelings, the state of being, the welfare. Okay, these are not thought ideas, these are condition ideas. I've been clear about it, so you're just perverting the argument. You're twisting it and manipulating it. I don't know how you can't hear this correctly. I am not talking about what you think about your life. I'm talking about the condition of your life, you stupid fuck.
Really be nihilist, that they can't not have value systems. They get one built in from their, you know, biological desires and needs and drives.
Not the subject. Again, your value system is irrelevant to this part of the conversation in terms of creating value. The point is that a rat creates value, okay? When it's eating cheese, it's creating less negative stench into the ether, value stench, than when, you know, something horrible, you know, the laboratory guy is shoving shit, you know, into its eye or something. Then it's creating a bunch of negative bad stuff into that ether, into the calculation ether, into the ether that gets netted in the end. What was the accomplishment here? How much pain for how little gain? And again, there is no gain.
And it seems like there's a lot of options. And no, I haven't seen yours be the one that automatically is concluded as better. From your point of view, some of the...
Again, it's just irrelevant. I mean, my personal life strategy has absolutely nothing to do with this subject. The real end product of my life will be written after I'm dead, for sure. I won't know the impact of my existence ever. Okay, if who knows? I might have actually prevented some human beings from existing. So I would have prevented all the crimes their ancestors would commit. I'd prevent a lot of things that would have happened. Other people will have things happen to them. They'll get run over in the street because of what I did. So there'll be huge implications of my life. But that's not the subject even really either. We're not trying to calculate all that crap. We're talking about the principle itself and whether this engine can produce anything but noise and stink. That's the real point. What is the frickin' engine of the living sentient creature? Does it do anything? Can it do anything besides create noise and stink?